I believe it somehow.
My toxic trait is believing that I could run the music industry.
But you have me, a believer.
Not as an artist, but like as like a manager, like I'd be like
putting the puzzle piece together.
I'd be making I'm gonna manage the German pop star that Becca.
Quinn, I was just gonna say that. I was also gonna ask if you would manage Beck's gloss. Wait, can you? Wait, can you be my manager?
Manic
Pixie
Jump Scare. Hosted by Quinn Murphy
and Becca Hobart.
Well,
hi.
We're Quinn. And we're Becca. And welcome to Manic Pixie Jump Scare, a podcast where we talk openly about our shared delusions,
passions, and
love for each other.
And Tom's house was broken into, and yeah, I'm just having a really hard time right now.
Wait. I'm trying to place that so hard. Wait, I'm trying to place that so hard.
And on the way back, and Tom's house was broken into, and yeah, I'm just having a really hard time right now.
Who dates Tom?
No, it's
a Kardashian. Is it a Kardashian?
No, I think it was from a Real Housewives clip, but it was a TikTok sound for a while.
The Lisa Rinna Eminem. I know this isn't like a regular episode, so like I was trying to figure out where the Lisa Rinna Eminem came from today, and like it's such a niche meme because when I looked it up, there wasn't even a Know Your Meme page for it.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, by the time this episode sees the light of day, everybody's gonna be like, "What? There was a Lisa Rinna Eminem?" But anyway,
literally. So hi guys. Welcome back. Welcome back to Stanless Deep Dive episodes.
Mm-hmm. Boom.
So I hope you're loving them. You probably are.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, this one, if you had to guess, would be the next item on the list, which is the famed album. Go ahead, Quinn.
Plastic Hearts.
2020, Miley Cyrus. She put her heart and soul into this one, guys. You have to listen.
The 30th studio album from Miley Cyrus.
Literally. 34 years later, she has released. I don't even know what I was about to say with that one. I'm just going to let that fly into the wind. So, as we do with all deep dives, first we want to know a little bit about how we first encountered this Stanless item, what made it so famed in our lives. So, Quinn, how did you first hear of, listen to Plastic Hearts? What headspace were you in? What was going on? Everything.
So before I get into Plastic Hearts specifically, I need to take it back to when I was literally 5 years old, because a core memory of mine is, so the house I live in now, the house I am podcasting this very episode from.
Whoa.
We moved here when I was 4, about to turn 5. And we came in, and actually I saw this house for the very first time the same night I watched the premiere of Hannah Montana.
Whoa. And just remind me real quick of your address.
31.
Okay.
But yeah, so it was really fun because my next door neighbor, who still lives there, we actually went to preschool together, and it was fun because we were going to be neighbors, and so and so that was a new era for us. And I believe there's pictures from this night, because I want to say that exists somewhere in the house. But my next door neighbor, we watched the premiere of Hannah Montana on the floor of her living room. I remember that so vividly.
That's so cute.
After I had seen this new house I was going to live in. And so yeah.
Wow.
And that's just a wider theory I've had about Miley Cyrus for a really long time, is that people our age were basically brainwashed into liking her.
Yeah. Because just with proximity.
Yes, because she was just such a big star, especially for by 12-year-old standards, one of the biggest.
Oh my God.
Of the 12-year-olds who have ever been famous, she was one of the ones who did it the most impactfully.
Yeah.
And So I don't know. It's like, as I said, certain people's voices feel like a warm blanket to me. And I would have to add Miley Cyrus in there. It has certainly changed over time, but like, especially when I listen to like old school Miley. Do you know what song I recently kind of discovered that's older of Miley's?
What's that?
When I Look at You.
Wait, I got it wrong.
When the
Look at
waves
me.
are
Cry.
sure and I can yeah, and so
That
I
was
was
for
really
the
just
last
like,
song.
yes, no, because I intuited that because my friend Maddie was playing it, and I was like, this feels like it's would be from that last song movie. And I think I did remember like the ads for that movie when she was like playing the piano, like playing a grand piano on like a fucking beach, like
On the
who has
beach.
ever?
Yeah.
And she's like just singing her little heart out. And yeah, Miley Cyrus is, it's kind of nice because she's not an industry plant. She has famous parents, I would say.
Yeah, she does.
But she also, or I don't know if her mom's famous, but her dad definitely is. But she's also just such a genuine talent.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like she's just like, even then, even as like she was like 17 or something when she filmed that movie, the fact that she recorded that fucking like power ballad,
yeah,
and also like, you know, The Climb, all this stuff. And even the fact that she was making like, yeah, the fact that she was able to make the music she was like at such a young age. Oh, not that like, you know, the creative process was like, you know, obviously it was fucked up because like child stardom is just fucked up as a concept. But yeah. So anyway, I've always been rooting for Miley Cyrus. I've always found myself in her corner, even in times where I have disagreed with her. And I think I've talked about this on the podcast before, but I think at a certain time, Miley could have been on a problematic faves list as opposed to like,
yeah, sure,
the stand list a little bit, because, and we'll get into that a little bit later.
Fair enough.
But to the plastic hearts of it all, I'm rooting for Miley Cyrus. And this era, she has like a moment, I feel, because like, especially with the iHeart performance of Heart of Glass, I feel like that just for some reason, not for some reason, because obviously it's like amazing, but like just the way that like broke through the noise,
it blew up.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
Yeah, because I guess it's interesting because I feel like something we're talking about in the culture nowadays is how everything is just like recycled a little bit. But music feels that way, and it doesn't feel that way, because music, their version of like, whereas like film just dead ass like remakes shit or does like sequels to things 40 years later. Music has to be a little bit more creative with like sampling, interpolating, like all that kind of bullshit you hear about when like someone's album comes out and they're like, oh, they interpolated the Pink Floyd 1974 record, you know, whatever. And but whereas like I feel like covers are kind of not looked down upon, but they don't have as much clout as like a sample. Like it's not as popular to be like a cover.
Yeah.
Which is interesting, because when you think about, it's interesting because like popular music, which we'll talk a little bit more about in our next Stanless deep dive, because like there used to not be as many songs, but like everybody would have like, I'm thinking like back in the day, like 50s, 60s, like how everybody would have their version of like a song.
Yeah.
Like Hound Dog, like there's Big Mama Thornton, there's Elvis, you know, At Last. All the jazz singers had their own version of it, like all that kind of stuff. Like I think that's kind of an interesting concept as well. But I feel like covers are generally kind of like, they're like done sparingly, but I don't know where covers quite fit in like the recycling of culture.
Right. Some of the best songs I know are covers though.
Oh yeah. Glee
Year
Cast,
3000. Glee Cast, anything Glee Cast.
Who is, I didn't know that was a cover.
Yeah, I don't even remember what the original band's name is, but Jonas Brothers did it way better.
Yeah. So anyway, Plastic Hearts. So obviously Maya's having a big moment off of that. What I loved
Mhm.
even more than her cover of Heart of Glass was actually her cover of Zombie
Oh, I forgot about
by the
that one.
Cranberries. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, because I didn't actually know that song, but there was in the first ever show I directed in high school, there was this scene where we wanted the girl to be like listening to music in her bedroom,
Mhm.
and we let the girl who like played the role, she picked the song out, and
Mhm.
she picked Zombie by the Cranberries. And
Yeah.
so when I heard Miley sing that song, I was like, oh,
In
oof.
my head.
Yeah.
In
And
my
so
head.
then I'm excited for the album, obviously. And
Mhm.
this was like a dark time looking back. I don't even know. Well, I do know why. But
It was a
I
terrible
remember.
time.
Yes. So it's end of 2020. We've
Mhm.
been at this whole pandemic thing for a little while. It's like the first holiday season. Like
Mhm.
it's like the first holiday season of COVID, basically.
Yeah. COVID's like at
So
its worst.
yes,
Like
yeah,
at its
yeah.
absolute worst.
Yeah, it's like hitting a new peak. It's like hitting its second peak because everybody went inside for the summer. And then
Uh-huh.
as like, you know, every illness does in the winter, and like at
Mhm.
least COVID not a way possible, but like it's just, everybody goes inside
Yeah.
in the winter and things spread easier. But
Yeah.
we hit like a big spike in the winter time. And so like things were kind of like that was probably also contributing to it. Things were scary a little bit.
Mhm.
And our university made the dumb ass decision um to we had our fall semester and we just went like straight through to
Mhm.
Thanksgiving. We had, I believe, one day off. Like other than
Yeah.
weekends, we had a singular day off
Mhm.
that was that was in the middle of the week, first of all, because they didn't want people going anywhere.
Mhm. They were called mental health days.
Yeah, they had like mental health days where like they'd be like, okay, guys, Wednesday we don't have classes.
You do
And
have assignments due on Thursday though.
yeah,
They were
exactly,
like,
exactly.
okay, so
And
have fun.
so yeah, so that was really tough. And then you get all the way, and then finals were like, so classes were over before Thanksgiving break, and then
Mhm.
finals, like nobody came back to like campus or anything, but like finals were due like the next week.
Mhm.
And so basically there's no way to like enjoy the Thanksgiving holiday with your family
Yeah,
because you're
literally.
fucking like working on a paper and shit. And so that's
Yeah.
very much where I am because,
Mhm.
and obviously it's like a lot of pressure because I think something with the pandemic is that, like, people like Becca and people our age, we are, fortunate enough to like, it's kind of, we were kind of starting to understand like if young people get COVID, they were like much better off. But
Right.
I was like, I was going to see, like, I always have Thanksgiving with my grandparents. I knew we were going to like see them
Mhm.
for the holidays. And so like my main fear throughout the whole pandemic was like giving COVID to somebody. Um,
Mhm.
and so anyway, so that was like what I was managing. And I was just trying to manage like doing my finals and shit.
Mhm.
And so it was terrible, Your Honor, because it's
It
just
was
like,
terrible.
it was just like I'm somebody who like I like to just like get things done. Like I just like to like work on things until I'm over with them. And so it felt like I
Mhm.
couldn't like really enjoy that like holiday with my family. And like my
Yeah.
grandparents live like a little while away from us. We had gotten like an Airbnb, and my mom and my brother were watching the Queen's Gambit, and I was just like not I was not into it. I
Nah.
couldn't be into it because like I couldn't take time to watch Anya Taylor-Joy doing whatever she was doing with those chess pieces. Like,
Yeah. It's too much time. There's
yeah,
no time.
there's no time. Um, and so yeah, but then something that breaks through all the noise is Plastic Hearts.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I just loved it like immediately. I we'll get into more like the specifics like the next thing, but like, oh, it was just everything I wanted a little bit. And I feel like even though the music didn't get that much attention, I feel
Mhm.
like that music that came out like in that second half of 2020, like
Mhm.
after like everywhere started locking down, I feel like that music was so significant.
I think so too.
Yeah, because
It's like all we could do.
yes, and like not even that, but it just predicted so many like trends that are like still in music like 2 years later. Like if we think of like future nostalgia, chromatica,
Yeah.
even plastic hearts, it had that era of like it had that thing of like, okay, these older sound, these older concepts are, dance pop, classic rock of like, an 80s era are all coming back into like vogue. But because of like the timing in which they were released, we weren't able to like consume them the way we're usually accustomed to consuming music. And so but like now we have, Renaissance, Harry's House, like all the biggest projects this year in music like harken back to like a past time a little bit sonically.
Yeah.
And I feel like this music that came out in like 2020 was kind of like the first wave of that in a way.
Yeah. They were setting something like 80s stuff became so big. Yeah. And I think they definitely set that up.
Yeah. So Plastic Hearts was very something that helped me break through the noise a little bit in that time. And yeah, I was just obsessed. I'm obsessed with like, I was also obsessed with the aesthetics.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to dress exactly like Miley Cyrus during this time. I still do.
Yeah.
Like she definitely became like one of my like this era of hers is like a big style inspiration for me.
Yeah. And she's your Sagittarius sister.
Exactly. That's another reason I identify with her so much. But Becca, I would love to hear your background, where you are approaching Plastic Hearts from.
Well, thank you so much. I was definitely one of those people who the Heart of Glass cover, like I could not stop listening to it. It became my most listened to song of the year. And it was like a month left in the year.
That's crazy.
So like so fast became my most listened to song. I just was obsessed with it. And it made me really excited for her like rock era, because truly Miley is just she was born to be a rock star. Like she's not really a pop star, she's a rock star.
Yeah.
And I've always viewed her that way.
She can just do like anything, really.
Yeah, but like
just the rock feels like, but like you're right,
feels most authentic for her. Yeah. And like performance wise, like she's such a good performer. So it just makes sense. And also like I used to listen to like, I was obsessed with Hannah Montana, of course. And then me and my mom listened to, I don't even remember the name of the album, but it has Can't Be Tamed on it.
I don't know what that one's called either.
And she also has a cover on there of Every Rose Has Its Thorn.
She's the queen of covers.
She's so good at covers because she makes it her own.
Because she actually has so many covers out there.
She really does.
One of my favorite covers of her that I feel like people don't talk about is her cover of Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. Which is it was this album called Revamp, where everybody did different Elton John songs, like all these other artists. Such a good album. So many good covers on there. There are like 4 or 5 covers on there that I listen to so often.
Loves it. Okay, the album is called Can't Be Tamed. But yeah, I love that. She has that album's so good. And obviously is a little more rocky. And so I Miley rock is just makes the most sense to me. So I was really excited for this like 80s rock album from her. I remember the tweet from Sarah Shower when Heart of Glass came out. Sarah Shower tweeted, if Miley came out with an 80s rock album, it like COVID would probably end. And then Miley Cyrus like retweeted it. And then I was like, maybe Sarah and Miley will date. So that hasn't happened yet.
I said little do you know.
Little do you know. But yeah, so that was pretty amazing. And then I listened to it. I was at home, similar situation, like right before finals basically. And I was upset. Like I literally had my mouth agape while I was looking at what I was about to be listening to with the features. I mean, again, we will get to it. But I was like,
the roster
no,
of
like
features.
Oh my God,
crazy.
Yeah, I literally was like, well, it makes sense because she is like, why wouldn't you want to be on a Miley Cyrus song? But also like, cannot believe it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, we were both just obsessed with this album.
As everyone should be.
Literally.
As everyone should be. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think now we're gonna throw a little break because I'm chomping at the bit to come back and like actually like super dive into the album because I love this album, and like this little precursor has kind of reminded me of that love. And so yeah, we'll be right back.
Yippee-doo.
Guys, I'm scared.
Oh! Boy, you scared me like an opossum in front of a mech truck. Oh my God. And we're back.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah, and we're back. So now, as we like to do, we like to dive in a little bit to the history of whatever we're discussing on this podcast or on these Stainless Deep Dives. And so I actually find this era of Miley very interesting. I find Miley's whole career interesting, to be honest. And like my little, doing the research for this really just reaffirmed that for me.
Yeah.
But she had this whole concept before Plastic Hearts that was called like this whole concept project called She Is Miley Cyrus. And She Is Miley Cyrus is going to be released as 3 6-track EPs. The first was going to be She Is Coming. Second was going to be She Is Here. And the third was going to be She Is Everything. And she actually released She Is Coming in May of 2019. And I'm glad we eventually got Plastic Hearts, but if Miley can ever find it in her heart to release some of what was on She Is Here and She Is Everything, I would just be internally like grateful to her.
I'd be really happy.
Because She Is Coming, such a good EP.
So good.
Like they're Mother's Daughter.
So good.
Such a good song. An amazing music video as well.
Yeah.
Her song The Most on there.
And I feel like people just don't know about this EP. Like I feel like no one ever.
I didn't. The only way I heard of it is because a podcast I listened to would play like songs, and one of the songs they played was The Most.
Oh wow.
And so that was how I was like, oh, let me go listen to this EP. And then perhaps the most significant thing on She Is Coming, Catitude featuring RuPaul.
Literally.
Have you heard this song, Becca?
Yeah.
Rise, shine, clock say, pussy time. Bust my pussy nut while I'm fingering your butt.
Like, okay.
One of my favorite things ever is RuPaul on his podcast read those lyrics like completely like straight face.
Oh my God.
And that's what I was just giving a little bit. Oh my God. And I remember when that came out, everybody was like, this is so crazy. But now I listen to the song and I'm like, this is just genuinely very good.
This is just art.
It's camp. It's everything you want it to be. Anyway.
Yeah.
So She Is Coming. Amazing little project. And it was kind of that first of the 3 EPs, and it's released in May of 2019. Forget if I mentioned that or not. But eventually these have to get pushed back because she needed to have vocal surgery. For she had vocal surgery, and then eventually they just got scrapped after COVID. And again, Becca added something to the outline. It said, and she had a point with Mother's Daughter, but we don't really need to talk about that. Wait, what do you mean by that? Just that
song is so good, and
it's
I feel
such
like
a good fucking song. Yeah, I think we need to talk about it again.
Literally, I always have to like show people that song, and I'm like, what? So why haven't you heard this?
No, the chorus. Don't fuck with my freedom. I came up to get me some. I'm nasty, I'm evil. No, when she says I'm nasty, I'm evil.
Then I'm a Mother's Daughter. Literally.
No, and it was kind of like Tish, because when did her parents get divorced? Because her parents divorced like recently.
I don't know.
Wait, I need to look this up because I think that was part of it. Really? Tish Cyrus files for divorce from Billy Ray Cyrus for 3rd time.
Oh boy.
April 11th. But like they didn't have like they didn't have like, you know, they got divorced like kind of late a little bit, it felt.
Okay.
Because like
I don't know.
I think part of the reason it was like big because her mom was in the music video, like in like the in the bridge when she's like, my mama always told me that I make it. It was like a flash. It was like
So I
Tish was like
did it.
Miley's mom was sitting
I remember.
on the couch and like Miley had her head in her lap. And I feel like it was like a thing because like her father and her were getting divorced at the time. So anyway.
Oh, maybe.
But yeah. And we know
It's my
and we just like
understanding-
know less about Tish because, you know, Billy
Well, it's
Ray
true.
is the store.
Yeah. Right.
And so yeah. Mother's Daughter,
Interesting.
amazing song. Go stream, please. Please.
Yeah, right. Please.
And so she releases Midnight Sky on August 14th of 2020. Yeah. Oh, and I should also mention before we get into like the actual era that something I did want to mention a little bit is like Miley's coming through, like, if you consider Miley's career up to this point, it's been kind of interesting because she of course had like bangers era.
Yeah.
Where she did have a moment of like, I love how this podcast, like a subplot of this podcast and the Stanley's Deep Dives in particular is me exploring who was like the biggest pop like celebrity
Yeah.
of any given era. But like Miley Cyrus fully had a moment where she was like the biggest celebrity during like the bangers era. Because
and it wasn't
of, like,
all positive.
Yes, because of We Can't Stop. And because of the VMA performance with Robin Thicke, that's like seared into my memory.
Crazy.
Yeah,
and
crazy. Like everybody was talking about it. And like the memes, everything. And so she was like big. And so she had the bangers era, and then she went into Younger Now, which was her follow-up. And that one didn't have, it was kind of like Back to Your Roots, but the thing about doing a Back to Her Roots album is she's like 27 at this point.
Yeah, like we're
so it's a little early to go home.
Yeah.
Maybe not when you're Miley Cyrus, but you know, for regular folk. But yeah.
Christmas.
So and like it was funny because apparently Miley was like very like not apparent, but like open about not her disdain, but just like her dispassion for Younger Now as like a project.
Yeah, it's not my fave either.
I have to be honest, I've never listened to the whole album. I love the song Malibu.
Yeah.
The song Younger Now, it's fine. But one thing she does get out of the era is definitely establishing the relationship with Mark Ronson, who also has a heavy hand in Plastic Hearts.
Yes.
And so yeah, but I remember like when I was reading something, she like said, she's like, oh, I've already started, like a couple days after the release of Younger Now, she's like, I'm already writing songs for the next album. And not in like a fun like, oh my god guys, go listen, but like in a like, I'm fucking over it.
Yeah.
And so yeah, but anyway, she releases Midnight Sky August 14th 2020. What do you think about Midnight Sky as a lead single?
So I kind of agree with you. It was kind of like a rando pick. I remember the first time I listened to it when I forget where she performed it. She was wearing that little purple dress, but I was like, okay, I did want more from this. From what I want to hear. Yeah, I don't know, but it's in context of the album, I really like it. But like on its own, it's not as strong for me.
I think that's all lead singles. I think lead singles are just hard.
Yeah.
I feel like I've never truly been satisfied with like a lead single. It always makes more sense to me when I think because expectation is just expectation is like comparison and expectation are the thieves of joy. Like and it's like expectation, because like I had it with Charlie XCX too. Like Crash. I was hating the singles of Crash.
What are the singles of Crash?
Good Ones was the lead single.
Yeah.
New Shapes was the second single. Beg for You was third. And then she released Used to Know Me like the day before the album.
Right.
And
I don't get it because with that, it's like she just chose honestly the worst songs. So why would you do that?
I have like I love New Shapes. Like I
I
do love
like
that
it,
song.
but
But
I
Beg for You
prefer.
is probably my least favorite song on that album, and also Used to Know Me is very low as well.
Yeah, I would say that.
No, and also Beg for You had like now this is getting into the crash of it all, but like Beg for You had the Charlie XCX Rina Sawayama. Like when we heard they were collabing, we were like, oh my god.
And then I
And
don't like that song.
It's like the two most experimental like pop girlies of our time are just getting on like
a regular
a sample, a completely like sampled song.
Yeah. It's annoying.
Anyway, I was thinking about that the other day, literally. But anyway, but now it's like I've grown to really love Crash. Same with the song, same with Stupid Love. I did not like Stupid Love when it first came out. I was like,
really?
Yes, I was like, this feels passe. It just feels like Gaga's done it before. But like when I got Chromatica, when I like heard Chromatica, I was like, yeah, none of these other songs could have been a lead single.
Fair, yeah.
Because it's like, especially when you're like mega, you're in that kind of mega stardom. You have to pick something that's gonna make sense to your audience, and I feel like Stupid Love kind of made the most sense to like Lady Gaga's audience, whereas like, Enigma can't be the lead single.
Yeah.
Replay can't be the lead single.
Yeah.
They're saving Rain on Me for the second single. They're like, this is Song of the Summer. This is gonna be a #1 hit anyway, and so. Yeah, and so Midnight Sky, I feel like it was a good first single in that it kind of encapsulates a lot of the themes that are going on throughout the album. Because there's that whole like, it's ultimately about like putting yourself first in a way. It's ultimately because also in like the Miley Cyrus of it all, this album is of course really inspired by her divorce from Liam Hemsworth.
Yeah, something I love.
Divorce in general, or Miley's divorce specifically from you? Well, actually, I know you love divorce in general.
I do. I love divorce.
And then this specific divorce, would you say?
Yeah, it was exciting to me because I don't know. He seemed always too like normal for her.
Oh yeah, like he was Australian. That's basically it.
Yeah, I thought it was really fun actually when she dated Cody Simpson.
That was like a throwback. Like that was.
I was like, wow. Hey there, pretty brown eyes. What are you doing later tonight?
Oh my god.
You know how he sings?
I actually don't.
But you know the song Hey Pretty Brown Eyes, right?
I do not.
Okay, I did a little jazzy take on it, I guess you could say.
Cheek to cheek.
But yeah.
And so yeah, but Midnight Sky in that way is a good one, but I didn't like connect to it. And now it's like a song I like, and I'm like, ooh, baby, ooh.
Ooh, yeah.
But yeah, it's an interesting lead single. Maybe not the one I would have chosen, but maybe we'll talk about that in a second.
Oh, cool.
And so then The Heart of Glass comes September 20th. And this was definitely the biggest piece of promo for the album.
Literally. I can just hear the drums in the beginning.
Yeah. Wait,
Becca,
you also does a cover of Man Eater, like Nelly Furtado Man Eater?
No, Hall & Oates Man Eater.
Oh,
here she comes. And it's great. Watch out, boy, she'll chew you up. She ate that up. But yeah, it just didn't blow up like Heart of Glass did.
And neither did Zombie.
Yeah, it didn't either. So,
but Zombie still got included on. Is it on like the album, or is it on the deluxe album? I don't know. But both of those, and then there's one other like deluxe thingy. But anyway, so the covers are a really important part of this era. It felt like everybody was like very much on Miley's side, and everybody was like, for the 13th fucking time in history, they were like, oh my god, Miley Cyrus is actually really talented. Literally. And it's like, I've been saying this for years, actually. Yeah.
You're pissing me off.
You're pissing me off. And so then the second single is Prisoner featuring Dua Lipa. And then that just represents the features on this album being fully crazy, because like obviously Dua Lipa is like coming right off of Future Nostalgia, like
Mhm.
apex of her stardom thus far.
Yeah.
And then the album also has features from Billy Idol, Joan Jett, and then Stevie Nicks is kind of like interpolated and stuff. And so
Yeah.
with The Edge of Midnight. And so yeah.
It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's craziness.
And it's kind of interesting because I think this is one of the reasons why Miley's like throwbacks might feel a little bit more successful than people who have done it since.
Mm-hmm.
Because she obviously like she got that original flavor
Yeah.
and was able to pay a more kind of direct homage to the people she's kind of inherently referencing with this music, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That does make sense.
Whereas like something else something that's come off as like something that's been criticized is like something like Harry's House, whereas like the references are clear but they're not as like respected and stuff.
Right.
Whereas like even Beyonce's Renaissance, if she doesn't have like she does have the Grace Jones feature, which is really big when kind of referencing the type of music she's doing, but she also has, you know, people like DJ Mike Q from like the ballroom scene, you know, having a bunch of people from ballroom and, you know, house and come in and like advise on the album and stuff. I think it's I think that's also an important way to like make it feel a little grounded and like authentic.
Yeah.
And of course she also has Mark Ronson like producing, and he is, you know, amazing.
Classic.
I feel like we don't talk about Mark Ronson enough and how like significant he is. Honestly, Amy Winehouse alone.
I was just gonna say like the fact that honestly just Valerie alone.
Yeah.
Guys.
Fucking crazy. Yeah. Yeah, and the fact that he was there for 5'2" filming, like I can't even imagine.
Literally. This man. I can forget about Uptown Funk if
he was featured. Nobody even Uptown Funk. It was the biggest song ever.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
The biggest song ever.
It was. It felt like that at the time a little bit.
Especially as an attendant of middle school dances.
Yeah. No, didn't it win like the Grammy? Didn't it win like Song of the Year or something?
Probably. It was everywhere. It really was.
Because that was the year that like Bruno Mars like randomly swept the Grammys.
Yeah. That was like Uptown Funk. Like that is one of the songs that gets so popular, like your parents know it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, everybody knew that song. Oh, yeah. Everybody. Children were singing that songs at weddings, graduations, funerals. Do you not know
funerals? No.
Whitney Houston in that one interview where she's like, songs that people can relate to. Children were singing that song at weddings, graduations, funerals.
Funerals.
And so me and my friend Kat, whenever we like really like a song, we just send the song, and then like weddings, graduations, funerals. No, but do you know what song I actually really love from that Bruno Mars era?
What?
That's What I Like.
That song is great.
That's a great fucking song.
That's what I like. That's what I like. Beach house in Miami.
No, literally. Also,
so
something that's so fun about Bruno Mars is through his music, I love when he talks about Julio.
I feel like that's been mentioned in a Silk Sonic song, maybe.
I don't know who Julio is. Well, in Uptown Funk, he says Julio get the stretch.
Yeah.
And then in That's What I Like, he says Julio served that scampi.
Julio, yeah, I wonder
like who is Julio. I'm sure I could find out, but like I kind of like the mystery. I like it being a subplot whenever I hear a Bruno Mars song on the radio, being like, will Julio come up?
I love Finesse. I constantly have a dream, I guess, of me like dancing at a bar to Finesse, and like someone joins in, and then we like fall in love. You know how I dance.
Oh my god, guys, I cannot say this, like, and I'm being 1000% serious. Becca is such a good dancer randomly.
Like, it is super random.
Becca and I went out. It was after the Caroline Polachek concert. We went to a gay bar and we were on the dance floor and Becca was fucking like breaking it down, popping and locking, giving hand performance, the fucking 5 elements. Like it was crazy actually. And I was like, what, who is this girl?
And it also happens like, it always happens like an hour into being where I am. Like I have to like settle in.
No, and it's funny, yeah, because Becca will be, she had her little bag and she's like,
and
and then suddenly she's just like, no, and I'm like, and everybody's forming a circle around her. It's crazy. Anyway, so
well, thank you.
when we start doing, when Man Pixie Jumpstairs starts throwing club parties, you guys will all see it.
Yeah, obviously. Fuck.
And so yeah, so back to Plastic Hearts.
Yeah,
the album is released ultimately on November 26th, 2020. And then Miley tours the album, which eventually leads to the release of Attention, Miley Live, a live album with a lot of the songs from the album released in 2022.
Yeah. Also, so did you watch her New Year's party thing?
I did not. I saw that it's renewed. She's doing it again. So
amazing. Lovely. Yeah. That'll be great. I really liked that. It was a concert. I liked when she was on stage. When other people, when Jack Harlow was there, I didn't really care. But that's fine.
You're like, this is a lot for me. It was on wherever I was celebrating New Year's Eve, but I just wasn't
really watching. Yeah.
Paying attention to it.
I forgive you.
And so yeah. She would honestly be great. I think she's like, you could give her like literally anything to do and she'd just like rise to the occasion because that's what she had to do as like a child.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like she's just she's just like a pro. She's just an old pro at the age of 30.
She has it down pat, if you would say.
She has a like 20-year career at the age of 30. And so yeah. So Becca, now let's talk about the album a little bit more specifically. What are some favorite tracks? What are some things that stand out about the album?
Okay. So, well, what stands out definitely is the aesthetics. I'm so I'm obsessed with it's just so, it's like, you know how I'm obsessed with like dreamy stuff, like that's why I love Sweetener. It's like if that was placed in the 80s, and so I just love it. And
like an 80s like rock, glam rock.
So and I've always like 80s music, 70s and 80s music are probably like some of my favorite decades of music. That's so like general to say, but anyway, I really do like a lot of the music from there.
No, my mom tried to say like I look 70s as like a like pejorative the other day, and I was like, baby, that's all I want to be. Yeah,
literally. I just want to be chill like that.
Literally.
Imagine me.
No, I have such an appreciation for like 70s is like my current obsession a little bit.
Love that. You are very 70s, especially with your love of green.
Earth tones,
such a big part of it.
Yeah, such a big thing in the 70s.
For sure. Yeah. But anyway, also, as you all probably know, I had a roommate named Macy. And I would say that her Ariana is Miley Cyrus.
Oh.
Yeah.
Of course.
Exactly. Of course.
Something that makes 1,000% sense. What you just told me.
Yeah. So we listen to Plastic Hearts a lot. Okay. So some of my favorite songs are High. One time I was listening to that in the car with Lauren while a beautiful sunset was dawning, and I was like, oh my God, I still feel high. Okay.
That might be like the best song on the album.
It could be very well could be.
Outside of like my favorite, because I always say there's like your favorites and then there's objectively the best. Like High might be like the best song on the album.
I think so. Also love Night Crawling. What the Fuck Do I Know is incredible. And probably also Plastic Hearts.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said those two, because not since Taylor Swift's Speak Now, a lot of people will get confused when I compare Speak Now to Plastic Hearts. They'll say, Quinn, those are two seemingly discordant albums. And I'll say, so no, actually, because they share a similarity unlike any other album I've ever come across, in that the first 3 tracks on these albums
are fucking crazy.
So fucking out of pocket. So, Speak Now, first track, Mine. I'm getting emotional thinking about it. Second track, Sparks Fly. Third track, Back to December. What do you mean? What Taylor Swift heard 1-2 punch and she said, I'm actually going to raise you another one. And Miley Cyrus said, okay, now let me try. And so that's how we get What the Fuck Do I Know as an album opener.
Let me try. Yeah.
Also very, very, very bold of her to say, very bold of her to have like the first song on the album being like, what the fuck do I know? And then having, okay, here are all my meditations.
What the fuck do I know? Let me actually tell you.
Such a good song. And then Plastic Hearts. Come on.
Oh.
Come on.
I'm living at the chateau.
I'm in California dreaming. Plastic Hearts are bleeding. My one friend was like, oh, I don't like love that song. And I was like, so you need to fix that. You need to.
So that's crazy.
Yeah.
So why would you say that?
Yeah, Plastic Hearts. And then Angels Like You.
Oh.
Wow. Oh wow, guys. Oh wow.
Oh wow.
No. That little strum at the beginning. Dong, 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 dong. God, she's so sick for that. Yeah,
when
that's
she said, "I'm everything they thought I would be." I'm everything they said I would be.
It's not your fault I ruin everything, and it's not your fault I can't be what you need. Angels Like You can't fly down here with me. I'm
gonna start doing that way more.
No, that's so funny. That's so funny. Like, I'll give you the mic, ma'am. I'll give you the mic. Oh my god.
Okay, now let me try.
It's very Ask Wendy. One of my favorite things to watch is people on. Have you ever watched the clips of Ask Wendy where they try to take the mic? Like the people on Ask Wendy try to grab the mic, and Wendy's always like, oh.
she used to be able to stand and hold the mic for people.
Yeah.
Because of my appearance, we had to
stand up,
approach the stand by ourselves.
Approach the stand. Yeah, Angels Like You. That's definitely my favorite song on the album.
Fair enough.
High, of course. I also love Hate Me.
Yeah.
I what would happen if I died. I love that song. Maybe that day you won't hate me. Yeah.
Wow.
Never Be Me. Also very beautiful. Like it's right up there with High on like most quality songs on the album. Especially when it goes from like into the last chorus and then she goes, if you're looking for stable, that'll never be me. But I hope that I'm able. Oh my god. And then Golden G-String is just a beautiful way to end like the regular album before it gets into like kind of the fun stuff at the end.
Yeah.
And a cool meditation on like fame and stuff like that. And it's like, I don't know. I was trying to think of like, because like Miley is such an interesting artist because she had like the Hannah Montana of it all, and so she has like that catalog, and then she like, but I was thinking like she doesn't really have like one like song, you know what I mean,
that like she's known for.
Yes.
You don't think it's Party in the USA?
I mean, I guess that's the closest thing.
Okay.
But like it's not like I feel like Party in the USA isn't like Bad Romance, for instance,
or like Baby by Justin Bieber.
Oh yeah, like Single Ladies by Beyonce.
Yeah.
Beehive might get mad at me for saying that, but like, you know, not in like it's like their best song or anything, but like with like the normies, like their song with like, the normies, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I feel like she doesn't have something like that, and maybe I'm wrong about that.
I don't know. She has, I think, too many, if anything, so that
maybe yeah.
You know, it means that because like The Climb would also be one then, and then I'm sure also What was the bangers? Oh, we can't or Wrecking Ball.
Oh.
I'm trying to think of songs that like a boy would lip sync to during the school's like boy beauty contest. You know how schools do those?
I went to an all boys school and I don't know what that is.
Okay, we had a thing called Mr. Parkland where like it actually pissed me the fuck off. Let me one second. Let me be really mad about this.
Be
There's
real,
an
girl.
opportunity.
Be real.
Yeah. There's an opportunity for boys to win a $500 scholarship for college. $500. Anything helps, guys, in this economy. Okay.
And
But so
$500
they
is a lot of fucking money to a senior in high school.
literally like that is what I made in a year, babe. At the salad place I worked at. But oh yeah, they could basically compete in what is like a beauty contest. So it's like the swimsuit round, the dance round, and then they all do like a talent thing.
Uh-huh.
And literally I was like, so why don't we have a girls one? Because these kids get to like win $500, but you have to be a boy because it's called Mr. Parkland. And I literally, one of the teachers that I asked was literally like, imagine if like the girls could actually do it. Like that would be we would have so much drama. What?
I'm tired.
What do you even mean?
Can I say I'm tired of narrative? I'm tired as somebody who's not
so exhausted.
who was not assigned female at birth, who does not identify as a woman. I am so tired of this narrative that women are somehow more like fucking dramatic than men.
Yeah, literally.
Like I'm so over it. I'm over it actually.
Literally.
Like
have you ever seen a man have you ever seen a football game?
Literally. No. Have you ever seen a man when his favorite sports team loses?
Let's talk about drama, babe, and meltdowns.
Literally. Have you ever seen a kid like lose a game of have you ever seen a teenage boy lose a game of Call of Duty?
Scary. Or Fortnite even?
Oh.
Guys, that's a little dramatic. That's a little dramatic.
Yeah, that's who's really bringing the drama. I feel like also Mr. Parkland, it just feels like it was something that was created to be like anti-misogynistic because it's like, oh look, the men have to get up and like do a pageant where like normally the women would, but then it just kind of became it like did a horseshoe and became misogynistic
because it's like
exactly for the women, like
literally
parity, not parody, but like, you know, there's not that equal opportunity for like, you know, women, because it's like that's fucked up if like the boys just had the chance to win a scholarship
and literally.
And it's also like it always becomes like a mockery of like things that women do.
It totally is.
It becomes like because like nobody was like seriously like, I assume that nobody at Mr. Parkland was trying to like do like a serious like pageant presentation.
Not at all.
It was probably just who was like the funniest or whatever, right?
Exactly. And who like made the most fool
like
of
if
themselves.
you entered like a women's beauty pageant and you did like a parody of like beauty pageant, like it wouldn't read. But because it's men, it's like, oh, they're doing something feminine. Isn't that so funny? It's like,
so
no.
hilarious. Yeah, actually it's not. Literally.
Yeah.
So
anyway, why do you think it's funny? You think it's funny just because they're doing something that women would do, and it's taboo for men to do shit like that. Anyway.
Oh, it makes me so mad. But anyway, oh, right, because I was thinking of songs by Miley that like people would use for that, because like the boys, if they did karaoke or like lip sync to The Climb, like people would eat that up. Or Party in the USA or Wrecking Ball. Etka.
Sure, yeah, sure. Yeah, maybe you're right in that there are just too many of the, like she just has too many bangers, really.
Yeah, it is true.
And like none of them have ever been like, was Party in the US? I feel like Party in the USA like wasn't like a hit.
What?
Did it have like a moment where it was like a huge song?
Oh my god, it definitely was number one for like a while.
Really?
Everyone knows that song also. Like if that plays in a bar, like It must have been.
No, it's like a turn up song now, but like, did people recognize it for the genius that it was then?
I think they did in 2009.
You know who also wrote that
so-
song? Greatest recording artist of all time, Jessie J.
Say it out. Say it out loud.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A Brit wrote "Party in the USA," and that's something I find beautiful.
Out to the plane at Alex, my
With a
dream in my cardigan. Welcome to the land of Phoenixes. Oh, am I gonna fit in? It peaked at number 2, actually, on the Billboard Hot 100.
Yeah.
Produced by Dr. Luke. Oh my god.
Long sigh into the mic.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Well.
Okay. That's okay.
It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff, especially from that era. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so yeah, but I don't. So something that is also frustrating to me, and kind of like the canon of Plastic Hearts, is that like, it didn't, despite all like that like fanfare around Miley leading up to the album, and despite how good I believe the album to be, it just didn't hit.
People.
Yeah, like I feel like it didn't make that big of a splash.
Yeah, because I think people are generally tend to be stupid.
You're so right about that, actually.
Yeah, so I see that in people, actually. I don't know, but yeah, I think you are right. Also, what came out around this time was Evermore, I believe.
Oh yeah.
And I remember Macy telling me, Macy was like, I think a reason why a lot of people haven't listened to Plastic Hearts is because they listen to Evermore and they're too sad right now to be happy. Again, a sign of stupidity.
Yeah, because Evermore comes out like what, 3 weeks later? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, something of the sort. So it's like it's holiday time. Maybe you got busy, so then you just listen to Evermore and you forgot all about Plastic Hearts. It's just sad.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, because if it came out like 2-3 weeks, Taylor announced Evermore. Like, did she announce like the day before or the week before?
I want to say it was a week. It was longer. It was way longer than Folklore. So I think like probably a week.
Yeah, I think she gave us like a week. I remember waking up that day and everybody was like, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "What?
What?"
Taylor Swift releasing an album is always like Taylor Swift announcing an album is always like a sense memory event. Yeah. Plus, like I feel like music. I feel like all the music from 2020 is just like so like, because like I feel like because we don't. It might have something to do with the fact that it doesn't get toured for a while.
Could be.
And so like the tour gives us a way to like connect to it, because like, or maybe it's just because like even Evermore, not that like the Swifties forgot Evermore, but like a lot of people think Taylor Swift did anyway. But like Evermore, I feel like people don't still talk about, but that also might be because like Taylor's version, that era started. And so yeah, I don't know.
A lot's going on.
Or maybe people are just stupid. Maybe my friend Becca really just hit it on the head with that one. So yeah, like, so I don't know, where do we think Miley's like going from here?
Oh my god, I hope she makes another album, like a sister of this album. I would appreciate, it'd be crazy if she like started a band, like a la cool. Like Selena Gomez and The Scene. Like if Miley Cyrus and like, I don't know, maybe like the Heartbreakers or something. I'm just putting that out there. Like that would be fun. I don't know.
Or like she found someone else to like be in like a duo with, if that makes sense.
That would be great. Or if she brought Joan Jett back and started a girl band.
Do you know what I also like? An image that just flashed for me is like, what if she made like some type of like progressive rock? Because like I like there to
Ooh.
be like Rina Sawayama, like something like that almost, where it's
Ooh. Oh my
like
God.
playing with the form of rock music a little bit, like not like, I mean, Miley can do metal if she really wants to, but like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, how Sawayama was really influenced by like metal.
Yeah.
And also like
Mhm.
there's this one song, there's a lot of like indie pop like that's very influenced by rock that like I
Right.
listen to, like um Grace Vanderwall has this really good song, Don't Assume What You Don't Know. Or like
Ooh.
there's this one girl, she goes by the name Girly. She has these
Okay.
two songs, Friday Night Big Screen, which I've been obsessed with for a long time now, and then I just heard a new song called More Than a Friend, and like it's that blending of like it's almost like hyper rock in a way, like it's
Ooh.
pop music but using like hard ass like electric guitars,
Mm-hmm.
and like I think that might be a really cool avenue for Miley to go, because I would love to hear like, oh my God, my dream actually would be like a Miley Cyrus cover of Dynasty by Rina Sawayama.
Quinn. Quinn.
What?
No. Wait. Quinn. Wait, Quinn.
Like, what did that serve?
I'm almost about to puke because I said in my head right before you said that it would be my dream to hear Miley cover Dynasty by Rina Sawayama, and then you said it out loud, and I was like, "Am I saying this?" I like like how? Okay,
Us
okay,
being spiritually connected. Yeah, no.
wow.
I've said Dynasty is Gen Z's Bohemian Rhapsody.
It's so true. In 100 years, everyone's gonna know it.
I've also said Rina Sawayama could do Bohemian Rhapsody, but Queen cannot do
Drew's Dynasty.
Dynasty. No.
Uh,
Oh, talk about a good
Dynasty.
fucking song.
Or
Yeah.
Save You Now, even.
No, but that's where I believe Miley Cyrus should really be like going, especially if like, because Miley's favorite thing is like when you listen to like an artist's new album and it just doesn't feel like they did anything different.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's kind of how I felt with the new Lizzo album. Like it's just
Mm.
like it doesn't feel like different enough.
Oh, gotcha.
Especially
It's
because
just
now we're
more.
gonna be 2 years post Plastic Hearts, at least by the time we get an album from like Miley. And so like,
Right.
you know,
We'll need a new era.
yeah. But also like, I don't know. I also don't know if that's like a fair expectation to have on people, if that makes sense.
I think it depends, I guess, on like, I don't know. It is hard because I am such a fan of like the true pop cycle of an artist where it's like each album, like every year there's an album and it's like has a really separate aesthetic from what just happened.
Mm-hmm.
That I find so pleasing.
Yes.
So I don't know, but maybe like, I don't know. If people can only do one thing, should I be mad at them for that? Maybe.
Yeah, because like I feel like because the only thing is I feel like it especially like is just because I feel like people talk about it a lot when it comes to like comparing women to men in the industry,
Yeah.
and how especially like female pop stars, it always feels like there has to be like a new era, something they're
Mm-hmm.
doing differently. Um
Yeah.
whereas like men can just do like the same shit and everybody's like, wow. Like how many albums does Ed Sheeran have
Literally.
doing the same old thing and everybody's like, "Ah," and like,
Exactly.
whereas it's like Beyonce now has to like
Reinvent.
snort
Not re
coke and Vogue
Yeah.
and do all this stuff. And like,
Kill somebody.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, Lady Gaga has to create a new planet.
Dear God, it takes so much work.
Literally, yeah. Rina Sawayama has to like explore her relationship to her inner child. like
Oh my
it's
God.
just and I feel like I'm not I feel like I'm not the problem because I don't because this is why I don't listen to men.
I know, I don't listen to any men.
Except for like someone like Lil Nas, like like I feel like I have that expectation out of like Lil Nas next time he releases a record.
Right. Fair enough.
As somebody who like loved his first record, like I want to know what his POV, especially because I love a sophomore record.
It really is. It
tells
really
you
changes
so much
the
about an
game.
artist. No, because
Yeah.
a first record is like you either like destroy it. Like Phoebe Bridgers, Punisher is like her first album, right?
No.
It's not.
No, Stranger in the Alps is.
Oh.
So Punisher, her sophomore album, she did destroy.
Yeah, she destroyed then. Like
Stranger in the Alps, I will tell you, she did destroy that as well.
Yeah, I've listened to Stranger in the Alps. I definitely didn't connect to it as much as Punisher, but I need to give it another try. But I always say like your first album is you're trying things on. Okay, this is the dichotomy. Ready?
Okay.
The Fame, Lady Gaga, she's trying things on.
Yes.
Like she's trying things on. She's still trying to find her lane a little bit. Pure Heroin by Lorde. Mama. She knows who she is. She came on that track knowing who she was. Like, and like that's kind of like the, you know,
you're so right for that.
The dichotomy of that. And then your sophomore album. But like I think both of those are valid things. But then if you do like Lil Nas, I view much more in the lane of Lady Gaga, where there is a cohesive message.
Yeah.
But it's not, and I also view this way about Plastic Hearts, a little bit more so than like Montero, but like Montero has a unifying message, but it's sonically a very different experience.
Yes, sure.
Whereas like I think Plastic Hearts is kind of like that, in that there's a unifying message. It's a similar sonic experience, but again, it's not really doing anything to like push the needle forward. And I enjoy when music pushes the needle forward. And so my hope for Miley is that like whatever her next project is that like it will allow her to push that needle forward a little bit more.
I like that. Yeah.
Especially because like if this is gonna be her lane, like I can already feel people start to get a little sick of like the recycle a little bit. And like I've talked about Beyonce Renaissance a lot, but I feel like Beyonce on Renaissance had a good mix of like taking something that feels old and still finding a way to make it new.
Yeah.
And I think that's gonna be Miley's challenge for her next record. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, she's Miley Cyrus, so she's always gonna sell records and stuff, but like if she wants to have like a hit on her hands. Yeah,
I fear.
Maybe I'm gonna win the Grammy.
Sounds like it.
No, I think about I could be like an A&R person if I really wanted to be. I don't know anything that's involved in that, but like
I believe it somehow.
My toxic trait is believing that I could run the music industry.
But you have me, a believer.
Not as an artist, but like as like a manager, like I'd be like
putting the puzzle piece together.
I'd be I'm gonna manage the German pop star that Becca.
Quinn, I was just gonna say that. I was also gonna ask if you would manage Beck's Gloss. Wait, can you? Wait, can you be my manager?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Oh my god.
Wait, not like me advising. Oh my god, we have like how like it becomes like Beck Gloss's team becomes like House of Gaga.
Wait, this is so fun. I'm signed to a manager. My good friend signed to a manager.
Oh my god. The fact that I have a client.
Oh my god, perfect.
Me making 10% of all Beck's Gloss.
I will. I'm like, here's $0. 0 cents.
You Venmo me $0. I'm like, thank you. Putting that on my tax forms. But yeah, I feel like we've gone on a couple tangents about music, but I feel like that speaks to Plastic Hearts, and like it's kind of like staple because it's causing us to think about music a little bit more cerebrally, a little bit.
Exactly. Put it at the front of our brain.
But yeah, anything else you want to say about the album outside of our segments, of course?
I mean, just go listen to it.
Yes,
so
stream. If you've never heard of Plastic Hearts,
what the hell?
Come on.
What the?
You should have done it after we talked about it on the stand list, and now this is your second chance.
Crazy.
But yeah.
Crazy.
Okay. Then Becca and I are going to throw to just a tiny little break. And then we're going to come back and get into our Manic Pixie moments and our jump scares concerning plastic hearts.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
Daddy, why'd you scare me like that? Oh my God. No, we can't have a conversation about Miley without having a conversation about the Jenna Marbles Miley Cyrus parody video.
Oh my God, I forgot about that. Daddy.
Wait, that makes me sad she quit YouTube, because could you imagine the plastic hearts content?
Literally, that would be life-changing. Also, did you actually think that Dolly Parton was Miley Cyrus's full aunt? Because I did.
I mean,
Or
like,
grandma,
perhaps.
sorry. Like whatever Hannah Montana said it was. I was
No,
like,
it was
wow.
her aunt, because
It was her
Aunt
aunt?
Dolly, because she had
Mhm.
her grandmother was another woman.
Oh,
Or didn't they call her
right.
like Meemaw?
True. Yeah.
Um,
Me moo.
but yeah. That is
Anyway,
crazy. Like, imagine if Dolly Parton was just your godmother.
I'd be like, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If,
Thank you very
if
much.
Dolly Parton guided you on your spiritual journey, I mean, she's already done that for me, regardless of
She's
being my
done
god,
it. Yeah.
regardless of being
She's
my
done it
official
hands off.
godparent or not.
She is. hands free. Okay. So guys, welcome back to our weekly segments, and you know how it goes with our Stainless deep dives. We will be doing our jump scares and manic pixie moments, considering plastic hearts / Miley Cyrus. So first, obviously, is the jump scare, the scary, the flop, the floppery. Quinn, what is that for you, considering plastic hearts?
My jump scare is honestly, and this was something that I thought about the other day. The fact that this thing that I'm about to talk about didn't make our problematic faves.
I'm scared.
The fact that Plastic Hearts got zero Grammy nominations.
You know what? That is so true.
Yeah. Like, I was thinking about it in the shower one day, the fact that like the Grammys somehow missed out on our problematic faves, because the Grammys is always there to disappoint me. Something that consistently lets me down in my life is the Grammy Awards.
Literally.
They will.
I hate them.
I hate them, but somehow it's the only award show I care about.
I know.
Like, movies aren't my thing. It's not my journey.
Not
the Emmys, sure. They're there.
Yeah.
The Tonys, despite being a theater person, I'm like, I can never bring myself to actually watch them. And then, so like the Grammys are like, I feel like it's like, of like I feel like the Grammys are like the most accessible thing, because the Grammys are the things that kind of like lean into popularity a little bit more, because the Oscars are always like Oscar movies are a different thing than like the movies everyone sees a little bit.
True.
Although, I don't know, that's how I felt when I like cared about the Oscars, and now I'm just like, I don't even know. I watched Coda, so
you're on there.
And yeah, but the Grammys, it's like, because I think I'm so keyed into like Grammy type music and like pop music and stuff.
Right.
I think it's just something I can follow a little bit more easily. And they just never do what I want them to do. The fact that this album came out, not a single nomination.
It's foul. It's really foul.
So what the fuck was that all about? Yeah, and
why did you do that?
Yeah, because it makes me so mad, because everybody was like, this is such a good, like, especially because Grammys is like, they have genre categories.
I know. So,
and like the fact that this wasn't like best rock, like it wasn't even nominated for best rock album, like General Field, okay, you know, a lot of people get snubbed for album of the year or whatever. Well, not now that there are 10 nominees, but like, you know,
are there seriously 10 nominees now?
Yes, last year.
Oh my God.
They opened it up to 10 nominees, and that's how Donda and Evermore were. Ironically, Donda and Evermore weren't going to make the cut.
Wow.
If they kept it at 8.
That's crazy.
And then, wait, she tweeted about it, because I remember it being like a thing. Oh yeah, she tweeted this article, 30 artists who haven't won Grammys, and then she said in good company, because she's also never won a Grammy.
Yeah, I don't think Ariana has either. Nicki has.
Ariana
maybe?
has.
Really? Okay.
I think Sweetener won a Grammy.
Oh, but she has beef with the Grammys because she was gonna perform one time and then didn't, so I don't think she goes anymore.
Mm-hmm. Thank You
But
Next was also nominated for Album of the Year, I remember.
okay.
I believe I was rooting for it to win Album of the Year because I was like, that is the Album of the Year.
Yeah, very clearly. But I don't
Because
think she
yeah, she
because Billie
definitely didn't win.
Eilish wins everything.
Yeah,
That's
no,
why.
and that was the most disappointing because like everybody, I was obsessed with everybody because Lil Nas, like Old Town Road was nominated, Lizzo's album was nominated, Thank You Next was nominated. It was the 2019 Grammys that aired in 2020.
Yeah.
And I believe, oh yeah, because it was the day Kobe Bryant died.
Oh. Aw.
Yeah. Because Lizzo opened the show and she went like, "This is for Kobe," and then yeah, and so, yeah, tragic, but
Wow.
yeah, and no, and then like just watching the show and then just seeing Billie Eilish win everything, it's like,
Grr.
and Billie Eilish is very talented. Not to take anything away from that young lady, but
Exactly.
she also shares my birthday. She copied off me actually. She was born on December
she
18th.
really?
Yeah, 2001.
How could she do this?
Billie.
What the hell?
She has 35 Grammys. A year younger than me, and I have a podcast I post to the internet every week.
Who's really winning now?
Who's really winning? Yeah, but the fact that it wasn't even,
yeah,
it's time. And the Grammys is like the award show where like it most plays like favorites a little bit.
You
like
don't
there are
think
there are Grammys darlings, and then there are Grammys like, I guess the Emmys also does it because it feels like the same shows win every year for the Emmys.
the Oscars can literally pay for people to win.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
And there's that stuff with the Grammys too, but like, anyway.
Yeah.
I enjoyed whatever Grammys the folk. I don't think I watched. Did I watch them this year? I enjoyed whatever Grammys. I think the year after I enjoyed, because the Grammys kept getting pushed back the next year. I remember because that was folklore year.
Oh.
Like that was the folklore Grammys. Yeah, it's never fun to watch somebody sweep at those awards.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, but anyway, Becca, what is your jump scare when it comes to Plisticots?
So again, mine is more just Miley Cyrus focused because yes, I don't really have
because yes.
yes. I do have, this is what came to my brain as soon as I was thinking about this. I have a sort of moment that I'm not really proud of from childhood actually. And that is in second grade, I was invited to a birthday party for a girl. It was my first sleepover birthday party.
Her.
So it was like really exciting. And it was Hannah Montana themed. And I was like, oh, I'm so excited. And like, it was one of those birthday parties where like the family is really rich and stuff. So it's like, oh, we're eating good tonight. And people were like, we all had matching Hannah Montana shirts that they gave us.
Yes.
So cute. And then they were like, okay, now we're going to do your hair. And so I was like, oh, I'm so ready for my blonde wig, even though, yes, I was a blonde child, did not need a wig. But I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have like a Hannah Montana
Miley wears
wig.
a wig, so you need to wear a wig.
That's what I thought. And so I was like, okay, this is going to be like, oh my God, crazy. I'm going to be Hannah Montana. And then they just had like little like clip-in colorful pieces of hair. And I literally, I mean, I was young, so I don't really blame myself. And I can look back and see that this is me being a little selfish and a little bratty. I walked up to the mother of the birthday girl and I was like, I said something along the lines of, I'm very disappointed you do not have full wigs. And she was like, I am sorry, sweetie. I did not think to buy 22 blonde wigs from Party City. And I was like, well,
she said, and in my home, this girl said this to me.
And in my own house. I'm the owner of this house.
Which I invited her to.
Little girl.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
So,
No, but
and I
I
still,
I stand you in that moment.
thank you. I was just, they shouldn't have prefaced it like that, and I probably wouldn't have got my expectations so high. But yeah, it is something that I'm like, I was a brat sometimes as a little girl.
And your
Yeah.
childhood is the time when you work those things out.
It is true, because now, what am I not? A brat. Except sometimes.
Except for when you want to look like a brat's doll.
Literally. Okay, so now it's time for Manic Pixie Moments, where something that's slay, something that's amazing, something that has never ever been so good like how it was before in the old days. Okay, so Quinn, what is that for you relating to plastic hearts?
I don't know how I forgot this, but probably Halloween this year when I dressed up as Miley.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
looked so good.
I did. Yeah, it was amazing. And everybody,
Yeah,
I was like, guess who I am? And everybody was
and
like,
you had a blonde wig.
I did. I don't know what happened to that wig.
Oh right, you lost it.
Actually, I know where it might be, but like my toxic trait is this closet over here in the dark corner of my room.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff in there, and I just be putting shit
Mhm.
in there, and then like I can't really get it out. Like I have
Yeah.
to like there has to be a concerted effort for me to get something out of that closet that's not like clothes that I wear regularly.
Yeah.
Like there's a storage bin in there that has like a bunch of costumey stuff, and so I feel the wigs may have ended up in there because I bought
Okay.
2 wigs for that Halloween weekend, famously the Miley Cyrus wig, and then my wig I was going to wear for when I was Wendy Williams on The Masked Singer, but then nobody got
Yeah.
to really see because one of the hosts of this podcast had a little diabetic episode.
I caused a scene. I
And
caused
it
a
wasn't
scene.
me. um,
Speak
but
on.
yeah, I felt like so slay that night. No, and everybody was like, because I cut that wig myself.
Yeah, it
Like
looks so
because
good.
it was like down to here, I want to say, and so I like cut it more like Bobby, and I cut like the bangs a little bit, and I did
Mm-hmm.
my eyeshadow, and it was
Ugh,
like
and the
and my
blue.
lips, and then I was wearing a Cher t-shirt, and so everyone was like, "Are you Cher?" And I was like, "So Cher has never looked like this actually." But it was like Heart of
And you
Stone
know
Cher,
that.
like it was like
Yeah. Crazy.
literally, and so like the fact that people didn't know, oh my god, and then. Actually, this night this might be a jump scare, but now it's like a fun little, you know. But one of
Okay.
we went out as like all 4 people, and it was funny because one of my friends went as GI Jane, another one of my friends went as a construction worker, and another person went as a cowboy, and so we kept making this joke that we were the Village People plus Miley Cyrus. um,
That's
and
funny. I like it.
and one of our friends was so drunk that like they were like we were leaving the bar that we were at that night, and I was like, well, who's gonna call the Uber? And they were like, so he's like so drunk we can't take him in an Uber, we don't think.
Oh.
And so then we were at a bar literally 2 miles from where we lived, like or not almost 3. And so we literally walked
No.
we walked from Shady Side, like
You're kidding.
yes, we walked from Shady Side, Ellsworth Avenue, all the way back to Oakland. And I was in my platform Doc Martens.
Why didn't you just Uber yourself? I would have had to leave them.
Yeah, that's
I
a
would have
good
had
idea.
to.
That's such a good idea, Becca. And then my two friends who weren't like I was in the back, which it wasn't he wasn't like the friend who was drunk was not like annoying or anything or belligerent.
Uh,
And so we were like in the back because we were walking slower because he was in like cowboy boots or something, and I was in, combat boots. And then the 2
yeah.
people who were wearing sneakers were like walking so far ahead of us, and I was like, okay, yeah, that was dark. But
Wow.
it was a
I
very
would have
fun
left
night.
them.
No, there's a picture of
Good.
me. There's a picture of me. We like got pizza at this one place, and I like took my wig off, and it was just
Uh-huh.
me like in my makeup, like
Oh my gosh.
like 2:45. Anyway,
I think I've seen that.
but Becca, what
Yeah.
is your manic pixie moment?
So, as you all may have noticed, me and Quinn say rock on every once in a while.
Mm-hmm. Something we came up with.
Yes. And something that people actually don't realize about me is that I only say rock on because in 2009, Miley Cyrus told me to. Let me explain. My grandmother knew someone who worked with Miley's team. And so she got all of the granddaughters for Christmas one year, signed photos from the Hannah Montana show, and Miley signed it and said, rock on, Miley Cyrus. So she's been telling me to rock on. And so every time I say rock on, it is Miley speaking through me.
Wow. Much like
I am
God
a
speaks through the
disciple of her.
prophets.
Exactly. Yeah. I am a disciple of Miley, and I have spread her message of rocking.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I know. I look at it, my dad's, it's like, okay, so I don't know. You probably, I don't know if you'll get this, but living with divorced parents and you have 2 rooms, one room is like way more, I don't know how to explain it. Like one room is really has a lot of stuff from childhood and one room doesn't. And my dad's room is the where like all my childhood stuff is. And so that is still, yeah, it's still framed. And next to my nightstand.
Yes.
Little thing from
I dated somebody with divorced parents. And when I actually never went to their one because I had like a whole like friendship with them before, and I'd actually it was kind of weird because when we broke up I was like, I've never actually been to their dad's house.
Really? That's how actually a lot of my friends were, because I mostly stay at my mom's, because before I was 18, my mom had like 5 days a week and my dad had 2. The weekends were with my dad, so like I was just here more.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that was the house. Same with like the house we would hang out at. Like it was his mom's. He would be with his mom more, but also his mom's house was just like a lot closer to my, like he literally lives like,
I see,
down the road from me at his mom's house, and so that was another reason. What's
really convenient about me is that my parents' houses are less than a mile away from each other. It's
you
very
could walk
convenient.
if you needed to.
I have actually.
It's with your little
really
bag.
Convenient. I'm like doot 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 doot, ding dong.
No, something that was my the way I'm like interested in divorced parents culture.
Yeah. It's very 2000s core as well.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
No, that is something of growing up, like when we grew up, like, because again, like everybody said, divorce rate was like 50% or something. And so, and like that was felt among children. Like, I feel like it was I feel like people would always be like, oh, what will people think? But like, it honestly was just like so many people had divorced parents.
Yeah. Like I would say most of my friends have divorced parents.
I would say no, a lot of my home friends, they actually, not a lot of them are divorced. What about me going through my entire Rolodex?
What about
wait, no, now that I'm thinking about it, most of my friends are married. Most of my friends have like married parents. Do we attract? Is that like a theory?
It could be.
Do you attract?
Could very well be
people who have similar. Yeah, but it was something that was like so normal, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 50-50 chance at this point.
Yes. So my the person I was dating, it would be Monday and Tuesday with mom. Wednesday was always with dad.
Oh, interesting.
Thursday and Friday back to mom, and then the weekends would alternate.
Oh, I see. Wednesday.
Well, no. Well, Thursday back with mom, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday it would alternate.
Okay. Interesting. Huh. I know. Mine was 5 and 2.
Yeah.
Lauren was, because
her parents are divorced.
Yeah.
Queen.
Exactly. She would go a week at each. You know. Yeah. I always thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very I feel like I could do like a whole because that's gonna be I feel like this is gonna be like a subplot of when we do like the interview episodes where we do like a 2-part special in which we interview each other.
Right.
I feel like that's gonna be like a bit like I need to like because that's also I'm in like part of the thing that speaks to me about divorced parents culture is like the sense of like home and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, because like what would you say that college was the first time? Well, because when did your parents get divorced?
When I was in 2nd grade, I was 8, I guess.
Okay, so like so you had like a little bit of it because the person I dated had like his parents got divorced before he was like aware of it.
Oh, interesting.
And so his experience has always been his parents living separately.
Oh, yeah. I feel like, yeah, no, I do remember them living together, like vaguely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like college was like the first time in a long time where you had like all your stuff in like one place.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. Because that was one of the things that was interesting when I would like talk to them about like college and stuff is and they would be like, it's nice to have all my stuff in like one place. And it was like something I never thought about.
Yeah, but generally still I do love divorce. And if you're thinking about it, do it.
If it needs to happen, it needs to happen. That's with anything in life, and especially with divorce. If it needs to happen, it needs to happen.
Exactly.
And who knows that better than Miley Cyrus? And what did she explain that on? But Plastic Hearts, the album. And that's our show, ladies and gentlemen.
And rock on, everyone.
But yeah, Becca, where can people keep up with you?
They can follow me on Instagram at Becca Hobart, Twitter, Bex Gloss, and TikTok, Where Y'all Going During World War III. They can also find me in the year 2050 touring as Bex Gloss, managered by Mr. Quinn. Sorry, Miss Quinn. That felt weird.
Get it right. Get it right.
Get it right. Okay, Quinn. So where can people keep up with you individually?
They can keep up with me at Quinn P. Murphy on Instagram and TikTok. You can also follow me on Quinn P. Murphy _ on Twitter. Fun thing about my Twitter, I actually just got access to Twitter Circles.
Oh my God.
Which the fact that I did not get access to it sooner is something that makes me extremely upset. But
okay,
I think it's because I've been tweeting originally more recently. But anyway. And you can find me getting those backup dancers for Beck Gloss Tour in order because I get that it's, everybody's tired. It's #tour life, but we got to be giving everybody the same quality of show. And I anticipate there being a little bit of a problem with the backup dancers, their energy. They have like a midway slump and we just need to get them back on track. And so you can find me negotiating that with the dancers and walking them through their 8 counts if they forgot.
And I thank you so much for that.
Yeah. Beck's Gloss Tour 2050. And Becca, where can people keep up with the show?
Oh, they can follow Manic Pixie Jump Scare on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, where we actually post the podcast at large in video form and also some exclusive content usually. So definitely subscribe there, comment, and please, please, please always email into manicpixiejumpscare@gmail.com.
Okay, Hilaria.
I don't even know who she is. Who was that, guys?
Ms. Baldwin.
But
yeah.
Yeah.
We're Quinn. And we're Becca. And thank you for listening.
Rock on.
Manic Pixie Jump Scare is hosted by Quinn Murphy
and Becca Hobart. Executive produced by Quinn Murphy and Becca Hobart.
Sound and video editing by Quinn Murphy.
Social media management and highlights by Becca Hobart.
And our theme song was written by Quinn Murphy, Becca Hobart, and Nandita Mahesh.